shifts you need to make if you want to live a life by design instead of by default. Today, I'm super excited. I'm talking to a long time TikTok mutual that I have. I've been watching his content for so long. He has such a upbeat and inviting energy that I just had to have him on. Let me tell you a little bit about him. So today's guest isn't just out here selling confidence hacks or cute little mindset quotes, right? He does real work, the kind that forces you to face the stories holding you back and rebuild the way you see yourself from the inside out. He's built his name by helping female entrepreneurs push through the stuff nobody talks about out loud. The imposter syndrome that keeps you small, the anxiety that steals your momentum, the procrastination that convinces you that you're not ready. But what makes him dangerous is that he mixes mindset with actual strategy. So you walk away with tools that create results that you can measure, repeat, and bank on. With him, success stops feeling heavy or forced. It becomes aligned, it becomes sustainable, and it becomes yours. Family, lock in. Today on the Mindful Moneymakers podcast, we're sitting down with Nando Rodriguez. Thank you for spending some time with us, Nando. How are you?
Hey, what an intro. That's pretty amazing. I'm like, who's he talking about? Yeah, I
The
love that.
one, the only. And uh I try to do a decent job with the introductions, but they always just scratch the surface. So I kind of want to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about yourself. How did you get started with what you're doing? Where are you now, and where are we headed?
Yeah. So let me see how far back can I go and keep it succinct, right? So imagine me working in corporate America as a recruiter at one of the top New York, well, actually global marketing and advertising agencies, right? And I was a recruiter there, and my whole experience there, I kept thinking like they made a mistake. Like what? How they hire me, right? Because the people I was sitting next to had like these degrees and like just like these all these upper educational, and I never even got my BA. I never completed, right? And so it's always a thing in the back of my head, like you're not good enough, you're not the same, you're different from everyone. And it was at my time there that I experienced the height of what I now know is imposter syndrome. I don't belong. I don't deserve success. Any good things that would happen, any good jobs, it was luck. I got lucky, right? And then I have so much anxiety that can I recreate the luck again for the next thing and for the next thing. And it was one of the most anxiety driven jobs I've ever had. And I had so much illness because what happens is the body listens to the mind. So if the mind is saying you don't belong here, you don't deserve this, you're not worthy, it's going to manifest. So I would get shingles, vertigo, like all these things were manifesting. So fast forward to I got poached to another company. They're like, we like what you do. We want you to work for us. And they offered me lots more money. And terrified as I was, I left and I went to the new place. And at that place, like it was, I was growing and growing until one day they let me go. They said, hey, we're having layoffs. And despite all my success, when I heard layoffs, we're letting you go, it reinforced, you see, we knew it. You're not good enough. This is what you've been waiting for somebody to validate and verify that you're just not good, right? So I went into this huge spiral, this huge depression, that was it was an 8 month journey. This was 2017, 2016, 2017. And I went and I got a coach. I went and I got a coach to help me with this, right? And it was an 8 month journey. And it was like, my coach was like, yo, it's been 8 months. You realize like you're happy now? There's a pep in your step. And she's the one that encouraged me, like, you should consider going into coaching yourself. I don't say this often, but you might consider it. And that's what started the journey. And that's what had me land on imposter syndrome and self sabotage because I was the king of that. I experienced it. And I feel like for once now in my coaching journey, I don't I don't think I'm not good enough. I feel like I found my thing, right? And helping people move on to the next thing. And it's such a great it's such a great feeling. And I never had that before. And I want folks to have that is to feel like, oh, this is what I this is what I should be doing because it comes easy to me, right? So that's in a nutshell, that's kind of my path. And lately, for the last eight months now, I think it's been 8 months, I kind of stopped. I stopped working with individual entrepreneurs, and I'm now an in-house coach at different organizations, coaching their leadership teams.
Mhm.
So it's still the same thing, imposter syndrome, self sabotage, but now it's like seeing it inside of an organization and helping them get on the same page and grow. Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's very exciting. And I love having these conversations with other coaches because I get to see just how our journeys are aligned. Like as a coach for me, like you always start off with a challenge that you have to overcome yourself. You get to become your first client, right? And to see the benefits of you blossoming into your true self, into your potential, and then being inspired to help other people, also being supported by somebody else. I think that, if we can spend some time on it, that there is a little bit of a lack of value placed on the support that we offer. A lot of people, my mother particularly, is like, well, I could just do that on my own, right? And the truth is, I think the truth is that you can. But what I tell her is, will you? Do you? Right. And when it gets hard, are you going to be the type to turn around and go back to what you're comfortable with, or are you going to push through the uncomfortability? So, as a coach who has one experienced it yourself, also experienced the support of someone else, and is now supporting other people through imposter syndrome and things like that, what do you say to the person that's like, oh, I got it?
I don't convince anymore. I just share. I just share because if the person is really in the mindset of, I got this. Okay, cool. Much love and much success to you. But what you said, will you do it? Will you hold yourself to account? And will you be able to tell when it's not working out? Right? That's the big thing. Because we think, you can do it at your own, you can do it at your own pace and do it by yourself, but how long is it going to take you? A
Mm-hmm.
coach has, not shortcuts, not like hacks, like try this and in 3 days your whole life, not like that, but we've created frameworks and systems that you can rely on and come back to that have been proven to work over and over again. So if
Mm-hmm.
someone's like, "Oh, that's great. I don't need a coach." Oh, cool. Yeah, I hear you.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. You know?
And I think that that's 100% appropriate. If we can dive into it though a little bit, I think that the person who isn't there yet, right, and isn't seeking like resources, and I want to pivot. I'll pivot off of the topic because I guess it's just coming up because it's a conversation I recently had. But it's the person who I think has tried the thing, right, and has bumped their head, right, is more likely to say, "Hey, I really want this to work." And like you said, am I going to be able to measure my success? Do I know when the thing isn't working, when it's time to pivot? The person who hasn't really tried much is the person who is completely unaware. But the people that do try and apply themselves are probably the most prime for coaching, for especially with someone who has done the thing that they want to do,
Yeah.
right? Is
No,
that how you see it?
absolutely, right. There comes a point in time when the pain gets so much, right? Whether, if you're an entrepreneur and you're not bringing in the clients, something has to shift, right?
Mhm,
um, if you are making money as an entrepreneur, or whatever it is that you're doing, but you're making the same, like, there's no growth, there's something just to take a look at. There's a conversation inside of, where's the growth here, right?
mhm,
And so, what's interesting, and this is not a setup whatsoever, but I just hired a new coach, and we had our first deep dive today at 2. I'm sorry, it was a 2-hour session. And I'm familiar with her. She's been a coach of mine in the past, and then I stopped, and then we just started up again. And it was a little, like, it was nerve wracking a little bit, because, like, all I have to put all the walls away, and it's just like super vulnerable. And I think that is one of the things that may keep people from actually doing coaching, is you got to be vulnerable. You've got to let the coach in on what is happening, what the pain points are, and where it is that you want to grow to without shame attached to it,
Mhm.
right? And so here I am, this executive coach that's been doing this for a while and everything, and I'm having this conversation, mind you, with somebody that I used to coach with in the past. So the relationship is like so loving and caring, but she holds me to account. That's another scary thing, right? It's like I am accountable to her, first to me, but then to her. So it's like putting your money where your mouth is. If I'm telling everybody get a coach because it works, I have to get a coach because it
Right.
works. I want to see my next level of growth, right? So
Mm.
it was pretty interesting to be in the coachee side of things because I haven't been there in a minute,
Right.
Yeah. But the
Yeah.
vulnerability, getting back to it, it's also the vulnerability and the commitment that you want to get to the next level, whatever that is.
Right. Growth is scary. I mean, it requires you to be honest and, yeah, and hit the soft spots, go into the wounds and pull out what's really underneath there so you can start to heal the things that are holding us back.
There you go. There you go. If we pull it all back, like, oh, I'm not getting any clients, I'm not da da da. I have it that now there's some kind of self sabotage behind it, but then behind that could be a wound
Mhm.
that we just haven't taken a look at, and we just think life is like this, right?
Mhm.
Like there's not enough for me. No, it just could be a wound that we haven't taken a look at, and there's like a money block attached to it.
Mhm.
To me, I don't know about you, but to me, coaching is a lot of connecting the dots,
Mhm.
right? And just being there helping folks as they're discovering the dots to connect, right?
Right.
'Cause sometimes they don't connect them. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's amazing to say too, because I know that a lot of people have this perception that a coach is supposed to teach you something, supposed to tell you what to do, give you the roadmap. But what you just said shows me that it is more of just being a container, being somebody that can create a safe space for you to explore your truth. Because as I'm listening to you, it's already hard enough, right, to go into the parts of you that you kind of ignore, the parts of you that make you squirm a little bit, and then to do it all on your own, right, is just 10 times more frightening. So to have somebody that's just going to listen and be curious and ask pointed questions, and the realizations that you come through, the eureka moments, I think are what solidify the mindset changes that we have. And it's amazing to be on both sides of that conversation, I think, as the coach and
Yeah.
as the coachee.
Yeah. And just what you said, I think is super valuable for people to really get is that you can do it by yourself. There's lots of resources, there's lots of tools, TikToks, YouTubes, all of that. But what's great is working with an individual that has a framework that resonates with you so they can help you in order to get to your most successful self, right? Because I think that's what happens, right? So I'm discovering, or I'm re-entering the world of doodling, right?
Mhm.
And so when I was a kid, I would just doodle and there was nothing to it, right? And then I kind of just, I don't know when, I just stopped. But I would catch myself like when I was in corporate America in meetings, just drawing little circles or da da da. And just recently I picked it back up again,
Mhm.
right? And so in between sessions, I'll doodle, where as to before I would scroll social media and stuff. And now when I'm doodling, it like provides a container of just focus, and it lets me be cool, calm, and ready for my next session, right?
Mhm.
But as soon as I started researching, like on YouTube or whatever, like doodling, there's all these things that pop up and can be overwhelming. And
Mhm.
it's like, where do you start? You know, do you start with cartoons? Do you start with shapes? And then there's like the color and the tools and the shading. And so I think that, when you're looking for help, you can piece it, patchwork it together with videos and courses and everything. But there's just going to be like everything. It's like going to the soda aisle and seeing
Mhm.
all the different sodas, and you've never had soda before. You don't know what to do or anything, right?
Mhm.
Working with the coach gives you, that alignment and that framework and those steps to get you to where it is that you want to go. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. So I'm curious, right, with your experience when it comes to, all of these. Hold on. I love you too, baby. Can you? Can you go back upstairs, please? Oh, thank you. See you later. Live
So,
TV. So the question I was going to ask you then, though, is what do you think you kind of gravitate towards? What do you look for when looking for a new coach? Is that, and are those things specific to you, or are there some things that maybe somebody who has never gotten coaching can
mm,
take and look for, as far as like what makes uh the most sense for who you
yeah.
choose?
So for me, whether it's a coach, a dentist, a chiropractor, a lawyer, whatever, I go to social media first so I can get a feel of who this person is, right? Because here's the thing, you're going to get a feel for who that person is regardless of what the content it is that they're putting out there, right?
Yeah.
So meaning like it could be the most amazing things that they're saying, but there's something a little bit off. Like go like trust your gut,
Mhm.
right? Trust your gut. And so what I would say is with the coach, what you want to do is that you want to be able to resonate with how that person works. Listen, I'm not the coach for everybody. There's a lot of like, I don't want to work with that guy, right? And that's cool. It's cool. Um, so find out like what their values are, find out their journey, and the results. Like what are the results that they've created? And with are we going to get into this conversation with the whole thing of AI? People are now creating, you know, them up on stage speaking in front of people, and it's like that's AI. That's
Mhm.
total, So really following someone for a minute, having a conversation and getting that vibe check is very important, you
Mhm.
know, and setting up those expectations up front. Like this is what I'm looking for, because the coach might not be able to deliver that. And if you
Mhm.
got a good coach, they'll tell you like, oh yeah, I don't work, and that's not my deal. Did I answer your question? Because I
You
think
did.
maybe I went sideways. Okay, good.
No, you did. It's a
I go
vibe.
sideways a lot. So, okay, check the
We like
vibe.
we like sideways. Yeah. I think that, if I can give you back what I'm hearing, it's about how you kind of gel, how you get along. Who do you like? Who do you resonate with? And make sure that you spend some time. Don't just make, you know, uh, hectic, not hectic, spontaneous decisions when it comes to this. I think it's an important decision. But I think if I could add, because in order to know who you resonate, you kind of have to spend some time with yourself too and be real with who you are. And like you said, know what you want to get out of it so that you can have that type of expectation and you can bring that into your initial conversations with a coach. On that note though, I would want to ask you, so when somebody works with you, what can they expect on the other side of having, some sessions with you?
Yeah. So I work with two different firms, right? One firm is a digital think tank for entrepreneurs. So
Mhm.
I still work with entrepreneur folks, and that's one thing. The other place where I work is actually, believe it or not, it's an immigration law firm here in the city, right? So it's two different types of people. One is like executive coaching, leadership. So I'll talk about the entrepreneur things that I do with those folks. It depends on what level of coaching it is that they need. Meaning, some entrepreneurs are already making their money, they've got their program, they've got everything going. So some folks want accountability, right? So I show up as an accountability coach and like a brainstorm coach. So they might have like a master class, and their whole funnel is I want to get 30 people into my master class. From those 30, I'll sell 15 into my year-long program. That's the goal, or 10. And then I have four master classes per year, so once a quarter, to keep enrolling people into the year-long program. And then that's how they keep their business alive. So how I'll work with them is accountability. All right, your master class is coming up in about 2 months. What are you doing in order to get those people into your funnel? And even though it's a what are you doing, it really is who you're being conversation, right? So it's like if they're procrastinating, they're not posting, they're not having conversations, they're not asking for referrals, it comes down to like, why are you like hiding out? What's going on there? Where's the hideout? You know, the avoider is happening. So we'll coach on that. That's one. Well, that's one way that I work with entrepreneurs. The other one is actually helping them create the strategy for the social media. And again, it looks like it's doing, but it's like, who are you being as you're being on video? I have a lot of entrepreneurs that say, I don't mind being on camera. I'll do videos. And okay, how many videos you going to commit to this week? And they'll say three. Great. Next week we talk. They'll cancel. I know they didn't do their videos. Then they schedule for 2 weeks, and they'll have one video and they'll have all these excuses. So accountability, brainstorming, strategy. You know, I'm very, you know, when I signed on, it asked me to like put a title, and I was like, what do I put? Because I do mindset, I do performance, I do accountability, right? And I do some butt kicking. So it's like, how do I, you know, just coach, I guess. But you get all of me, and I got to read the room to see what it is that you need, because I can come down on you and be like, why didn't you do your videos? But I know it's something else. I know it's something else, right? And so I think that's why you got to check out your coach, because you don't want somebody to just be forcing you to do stuff, and then the real reason is like down here, and you never get to that. Uh oh, your audio.
Here we go.
There you go.
I was saying you just hit on something for me, because yeah, I'm listening. I'm so engulfed in what you're saying, because as a coach myself, I'm like, yeah, what is that? Why didn't you create the videos? You said you wanted to do it. You said it wasn't a problem. It is only 3 videos in a whole week after all, right? So I would want to go into that, but then you were talking about, then there are certain people that are just like maybe even coaches that are just like, do the thing, do the thing, do the thing, and they never get to the root. And that's what hit for me, because that's why I got into coaching, because every mentor, every coach that I had, in that capacity was just like, is the thing done? Did you do the thing? Yes or no? Like, and I could remember back as far as like fourth grade, he has so much potential, but nobody is helping me on the day to day. Nobody cares about the thought process or the emotions or whatever it is, the blockages that stop us from taking action. And I think that it is a huge detriment to many, many people in just thinking that it's just as simple as, like the Nike slogan, just do it.
You do
It's
it.
not always just do it. It's you have to be it, right? Like you have to be it in a lot of times. And sometimes, even if you are successful in doing it, you still have to be consistently doing it, right? So over time and eventually your willpower will wane out. It'll run out, right? So that motivation doesn't last forever. It needs to become about identity, which is
Yeah.
a much deeper conversation than just action, right?
Yeah.
Is that what
Yeah.
you're seeing?
Yeah, and it's like the that I didn't do the videos, or I didn't fill my course, or I didn't post on this. All of that is just the symptoms, right? What's at the root? What's
Mhm.
at the root? So I love giving, tasks and everything just to see where they're at, because even the ones that accomplish it, right? They may have accomplished it, but they're exhausted, they're tired, they're burnt out. We don't want that either. What kind of life is that, right? So it's always about like who they're being on the journey to this thing called entrepreneurship, or whatever, what leadership, or whatever it is. But it's like, this is the fun part for me. This is why I love this. When I was in college, I didn't know what I wanted to study, and I got into some psychology courses and some sociology, and I was like, oh, what?
Mhm.
Like, give me
Yeah.
the brain, right? And I was just like, those were my courses. I loved it. And so like now I get to like not live research like these, but like just collect data, right? With each client, there's some data and there's some trends that you see with
Mhm.
people who avoid, people who procrastinate, people who, uh, just have these self sabotage. And by the way, we all self sabotage, right?
Mm.
It's not special people or non special people that sabotage. We all sabotage, right? And so it's just at the level or at the degree that it's impacting us. But I get to, I feel this is why I love what I do. I mean, look at my background, like markers and colors, and I get to play. Like, how awesome is it that I used to get in trouble at school for talking a lot, and now I get paid for it. And it's like the coolest thing ever is getting to help people, to guide them, to support them into like the next level them or their next thing that they want to do,
Mm,
right? But yeah, it's getting to the root. It's never the thing, you
thing.
know, that is a symptom.
Right. It's the way you think about the thing. Poor baby.
Oh no,
That's my daughter. Huh?
is she not feeling well?
No, she's just 3.
Okay, she's four. Okay, she's three. Got it. Been
Yeah.
there.
For sure. Let me think if I can. Oh man, I forgot what I was gonna say. But you're from New York too, huh?
Well, I'm originally from Mexico,
Okay.
right? I'm originally from Mexico. I was given up at birth and was adopted 3 hours later, crossed over to Texas.
Huh.
So raised in Texas. So 3 hours after I was born, crossed over, undocumented, hidden in a basket over the border. Grew up in Texas, raised in Texas. Then went to the University of Iowa,
Okay.
went to school there, met someone there who at my job who wanted to move to New York. So we became really good friends. She moved first, and then she moved to Brooklyn. And then 6 months later, she's like, "Hey, we have an extra room. Do you want to come?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Hell yeah.
So Mexico, Texas, Iowa, and then Brooklyn, and then New York. Yeah. So I've been
Nice.
here for 25 years.
Shoot. I'm born in Brooklyn. I think you've been there. Well,
Longer.
yeah.
Where in Brooklyn are you from?
Bed-Stuy,
Okay.
Green Ave, between Bedford and Nostrand. I lived there till I was like 14, though. I moved out. I went to Jersey for high school, and then I did college in Jersey,
What part of Jersey?
Plainfield.
Okay, okay. I'm
Yeah,
in Jersey City right now. We
Jersey
just moved
City.
from Brooklyn. Now, talk about identity shift.
Nice. Yeah.
Did you have that? Like, talk about identity shift. Like, being like, where you from? Oh, Brooklyn. Oh, that's so cool. And then now, where you from? Jersey City,
Yeah.
right? There was something about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no joke. And we're talking about coaching and identity shifts, but things like that matter
Right.
because when I went from Brooklyn to Jersey City, my practice went down. Like
Mhm.
because who was I being?
Right.
Right? I like who was I being? And I was trapped in this identity of, oh, I'm no longer this, and I'm no like it's. Thank God I like got over the hump, and then
Mm,
now I'm where I'm at. But yeah,
yeah.
identity.
You touched on another thing for me now, because now, yeah, the shift from Jersey, I mean, from Brooklyn to Jersey. After Jersey, I moved to Idaho.
Yo,
Yeah. I had no
you're
clue.
doing the reverse of me. I went
Right.
from Iowa to Brooklyn to Jersey. Yeah,
I had realized that I had no clue who I was in Idaho.
in
And
Idaho.
yeah, that's where people they say it's the dark night of the soul, where your ego dies. And I just didn't, when I separated myself from all the familiar places and faces that I was used to, I had to figure out what I wanted, what was right for me, what made me happy, what was my purpose, and what a scary time, that is to be identityless for, a moment. And I
Yeah.
came out on the other side like I'm a coach, and that's what it's been ever since.
I didn't think about it until you just said it, but like, what a gift to be able to go through stuff, to go shifts like that, right? Because I imagine there's people that never get that opportunity,
Hmm.
right? That never, and
Uh,
that those are big shifts,
right.
right? Like Brooklyn to Idaho to Jersey to Idaho, East Coast to there, and gives you the opportunity to recreate yourself, right? Or even just create yourself. We see these movies where these people take on these false identities, and I would watch them and just be like, that'd be so cool to just have so much confidence and just be like pretend that you're a pilot and get through whatever, and then the next scene you're like a boat captain. And but like we have that capability. We get to create ourselves every single day. And I think one of the traps that people have is that identity that they stick with. Like I stuck
Mhm.
with, I'm Brooklyn, and now that wasn't, now that that wasn't true, who am I happens with people who, when they lose their jobs,
Mhm.
right? When folks lose their jobs, their identity shatters.
Mhm.
Because here in the US, our job and money and who we are and what we do is so interlinked
Mhm.
that
Right.
people collapse. People collapse when one of those goes away. Yeah,
Yeah.
or changes.
And I like how you framed it too as a blessing, as an opportunity. And I didn't look at it that way, but I didn't realize how much of a gift it is to have moved from your hometown, to be around other people, to realize, hey, who's gonna stop me from being such and such? Like I know everybody knows me for this, and that, but I don't have to stick with that. But I can also understand how hard it is if you have never left, your inner circle, left that hometown where they still gonna treat you as if you're that other
Yeah,
person,
yeah.
right? So it makes it harder. I mean, not maybe not impossible. I wouldn't know because I moved, but I could imagine how hard it is to have everybody seeing you the same way. So if anybody's listening right now and you need any tips to, really up level your life, move out of your hometown if you haven't already. I think
If you have that opportunity,
yeah,
and
you can.
whoever's like going through it, just know, and you might not be able to see this now, but if you're going through it, just keep on going, because there will be another, the other side of it. Because like you said, I didn't know that that's what I was going through.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
just thought like life sucks now
Yeah.
because I'm no longer in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
right? I literally was just like, and dude, this was just like 2 years ago, and I've been coaching for over 8. So it just goes to show, like, the evolution. Like, you also want to find a coach that's like doing the work too,
Hmm. Right.
right? If you find a coach that feels like I have all the answers and you just follow my teachings and I will, like, you want to hear them, you want to hear their struggles too and how they're still, you know. And I don't know about you, but like when I was going through coaching certification and getting all my coaching, I had this idea that the coach had to be perfect. The
Yeah.
coach had to be perfect. And if the coach showed any kind of weakness back then in my eyes, if the coach showed any kind of weakness or told a story where like they were confused or they didn't have the answer, I immediately was like, oh, I don't like this person. Like, this is no, they're showing humanity. They're showing like they still are going through it. So I would say that's another thing. You don't, for me, I don't want that picture perfect coach that the hair is over, like, give me a real person that I know is going to be in the mud with me. Yeah.
Right, right. I recently had that experience too, and it's always been, yeah, the I know everything type of coach, even if they don't say it. Like I think that their
See,
brand
that's it.
is meant to imply it, right?
Hmm.
Like you're in good hands, and I get that you want somebody to feel secure, but it wasn't until I got on a call with a coach, and he was like, "I don't know, I don't think I can help you with that. I can't help you with that, but I can help you with this." That I felt that's more real. I connected to that so much more, and it changed me. So being as as far as being in the work, I think that's what you want from your coach is somebody that's still having revelations, and still changing their process and their approach. Because I gotta tell you, there is some problematic strategies to the coaching industry right now, and I try to pick out the people I know. I think most people have good hearts, but if they want their business to survive, a lot of times they fall victim to these predatory ways of getting clients that I don't agree with. Am I frozen?
No.
Oh,
Am I frozen?
I'm frozen over here, but I'm not frozen over here. It's so
No,
weird.
you're
I
good.
guess okay. So and there as a new coach, I think a lot of people are even more susceptible because they don't know left from right, up from down, right? So they do these things, these predatory things without even noticing so much. But as an experienced person who has hired coaches, I think what you're highlighting is very important for people listening is to find the human. Hire a human that can coach. Don't hire a coach, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
Find a
And
human.
I like, and I don't know how you like have this conversation, but for those of you that aren't coaches, when you're in the coaching industry, you go to courses and seminars on like how to sell your courses and seminars and how to sell your coaching packages and stuff like that. and they'll have things like, how to fight objections,
Right.
and what to say if they say this. Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be even saying any of this, right? And it's kind of like what you said, like, what do you tell people who aren't ready? I don't. Like, I used to in the beginning, right? Because
Right.
that's what they trained me to do,
Right.
and it's like you combat it with this, and you come back, it's like, ha, oh, ha. And now it's like, no. And the cool thing about it is that, because this is the energy I'm in, I only attract people that want to work, that want to do stuff, right? Even in those two places that I'm coaching, I don't have to look for clients. The clients are already there. It's part of the organization. They come in for coaching, right? And even them, um, the company is paying for the coaching. They're
Mhm.
not, right? And so that's another thing. It's like, well, if they don't pay for the coaching, they're not really going to be in it. And I don't find that to be the case. Like, these folks, if they really connect with you, they're eager to get to the next level. They're eager to, like, no longer be bumping up against the same thing over and over again, right? And so I think it's a beautiful thing that when you change your energy, then and it's the same thing as a client. If your energy is, I'm ready, you will find that coach that is meant for you, but still do your research, right? Because you don't
Mhm.
want to um, fall for, the snake oil people.
Right.
Uh,
Oh, and there's so many, so many. But there are some really good-hearted people that can lead with just a being. It's not, trying to be or trying to just overcome objections. Yeah, I look at
you
them
mean,
as reasons now. Go ahead.
yeah? Well, you're not. You mean you don't do TikToks with like a jet in the background,
No.
or like in the jacuzzi, or shaking hands with da 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 da, like those
Not
the and
anymore.
when I started out, I literally was like, that's the goal. That's the
Mhm.
goal for me. It's like, I want the jacuzzi shots and the plane and the private plane photos, and that'll get me the clients and da 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 da. And I felt like such a not success,
Mhm.
because I'm like, I must be doing everything wrong because I don't have any of this. And come to find out, you rent the houses, like houses that are on the market. You buy them for an hour and take all your photos. That, like, it's really
It's
not
hollow.
cool. It's really not cool how folks market themselves. And this is why I say, spend time listening. You'll get the vibe. Like, if everything is picture perfect and all of that, you'll get the vibe.
Right,
Yeah.
and it's really hollow because these are things that have definitely crossed my mind for consideration, but you look into it and the amount of money that it takes to rent a house for one time, right? Like, this isn't gonna turn a profit. You have to be able to do it consistently. Like you said, you have to spend time with a person. So if you can't do it consistently over a point of time, then you're really just wasting money. It's all the vanity stuff. I was very self-conscious about me starting because I'm like, how am I start a coaching practice when I'm renting a room, the back room, the smallest room in the house, in a I called it the bando, but it's kind of like, well, an abandoned house, right? A bando. Um, it wasn't really abandoned, but it felt abandoned, right? Like the homeowner didn't care about it, but that's where I got my start. And I started turning on the video or the camera. I found my little corner, the one corner that I could be in the whole house without being completely embarrassed, and got it going. And I found that people cared much more about what I was saying and the energy and the feeling that I was conveying, right, than the
Yeah.
background, than where I was actually at. And it's what changed everything. It changed my whole environment. So if anybody is listening, start where you're at, right? You don't have to be
No.
everybody else.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember watching your videos, and I remember when you had that stylistic change. I was like, whoa, your lighting changed, and I was just like, that to me meant like, it meant like focus. It meant like, oh, branding. Oh, he's he's a line. You know what I'm saying?
Of-
Like, I feel like I'm not there yet, right? I'm still like Bozo the clown, just like all over the
yeah.
place. And so I get a little envious about you folks, right? Like, that, find that style. You
Mhm.
guys have that style, and it's really cool because in personal branding, it's like, it's a familiarity, and the
Mhm.
people that look forward to it, right? Over and
Mhm.
over. But I remember when you made the switch, and I was like, oh wow, that's so
Yeah.
cool. Good.
I love
Yeah.
that. That's good to hear because I'm
We
still
know,
looking like, what am I doing? What am I not doing? like,
yeah,
you
we
know.
know, we know. I noticed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun stuff. Okay, solid. So now I know that somebody listening right now is super inspired and excited to like get to know you a little bit more. Where can people find you? And what's the first step to getting to work with Coach Nando?
I would say Instagram, Instagram, because you get a little piece of like everything. You get personal, you get business, you get tips, all of that. Instagram, really, I would just say Instagram. My website, I haven't even looked at my website in such a long time because I never get traffic. I don't get traffic. I really, really don't. But I do get a lot of views like on Instagram and TikTok, you
Mhm.
know. But TikTok is going, I don't know. I don't know what's happening with TikTok right now. So I'm just going to say Instagram. So it's at Nandoism. The website's at nandoism.com. I keep it all aligned, all the branding. But Instagram, I would say, is what, I put stories there. So you get to see like my doodles that I'm doing in the stories. And then the posts are personal or, work related. Yeah. Always tips. I do. You mentioned that in the intro. I do keep it positive, not for anything other than I got to keep it positive for myself, you
Mm,
know?
for
Yeah.
sure. All right,
Trying to be
everybody.
a beacon of light out there. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And we need that. If we have a little bit more time, I want to dive into that a little bit because the world is going crazy. But for anybody that is inspired to work with Coach Nando, don't hesitate. Nandoism.com. Nando, uh, what'd you say your tag
It,
was?
Nandoism.
Not oh
Like it's
yeah, yeah. Oh my god. You just said the branding. Everything's the same. So Nandoism on Instagram, Nandoism on TikTok. Don't hesitate. Run. It's gonna be in the description, so you can just click the link there. Now, I gotta ask you because we talk about building ourselves, right? And looking at our inner world, and we hope and pray that that translates into our outer world, into our experience, our physical experience, but it's a little bit hard for a lot of people right now to kind of build that bridge, or at least envision that bridge on how meditating or journaling is going to affect the world around us when it is so crazy. What are you seeing from your side, like with politics and everything that's going on?
what I try
Mhm.
what I say to folks, and this is something I do with myself, is have conversations with people that are have meaningful conversations with people that you love and that you trust. And that should help not isolate you or ostrich head in the sand it through these time periods, but it'll help create a sense of at least I have you, meaning reach out to your friends and have those good conversations. Hey man, have you tried this coffee? Hey man, have you watched this on Netflix yet? I feel if you can have just one or even two people in your life that you can do that with, um, and those people that are in relationships, outside of the relationship, a friend, that you can have that because you want to give your spouse or your partner a break. They can't be everything for you. That's a lot of pressure. You
Mhm.
got to have outside, right? There's like so much research that talks about friendships. And with men, especially with men, it's an epidemic. Loneliness is an epidemic. And it really got the light got shown during the pandemic,
Mhm.
right? Where we had to like stay in, and men like just fell into the loneliness factor because we men claim that they've got friends everywhere at work, on the way to work, but they're not really friends. They're just like people they say hi to,
Mhm.
right? So who can you be vulnerable with during these times? Vulnerable, that are going to keep you going. That's what I say. And I've got my two. I got my spouse, but I got my two people that I like constantly just check in with. Hey, how are you doing? And then they check in on me, and that is how we keep it. That's how we keep it moving. You
Yes,
know,
indeed. Community is key.
community.
That's
There
for
you go. See all of that to say community. Yeah.
That's love. I appreciate that. And it can be the last time we have a conversation like this. This was so amazing. I love your insights and how much we resonate actually on a lot of different topics, right? I do have one more question for you. And this is the one. This is the one. The question is, Nando, what is one thing that anybody can do right here, right now? Anybody that's listening, like a baby step to live
Mm,
a little bit more by design instead of by default, something that maybe they can just do right now.
yeah. I would say go back to your childhood and what was something that you used to like to do and bring it back into 2026, right? Whether that was collecting action figures, whether that was baking, whether that was doodling, drawing, playing with clay, getting a slinky. I'm aging myself here, but like whatever used to bring you coloring books, whatever, just think back 5, 8 years old, whatever brought you joy, one thing, can you bring it back into 2026 and give yourself the opportunity to just play to play to
Mhm.
play, whether it's coloring or actually playing or creating. I think that will definitely make such a big difference. It'll shift your mindset.
Such a good piece of advice. Get back to the basics, people. Find who you are at your core, what brings you joy, what puts a smile on your face. And I think that that energy will transmute through everything else that you do and make life a lot easier. Thank you so much, Coach Nando, for spending some time with me today.
Thank you for being awesome.
Oh, yeah. Won't be the last time. I'm so glad that we're connected. It's been a long time coming. Um,
Yeah.
I'm gonna land the plane. So for everybody, listen, as always, love, be well, and don't forget to have the guts